Are you someone who sometimes wish that you were more disciplined? Because if you were, it would mean that you would reduce your level of procrastination, which means that you would get more done. And with increased productivity, you improve your chances of being successful. With that being said, why does it seem so elusive to become disciplined? In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 simple but proven strategies to improve your level of self-discipline. If you're here for the first time, I'm Kanu Sankara. I'm a neurotransformational coach. I'm also a military vet. I served in the army for 15 years. And I know that you are thinking that I have an advantage over you. Well, if that is the case, in this video, I'm going to show you how to level that playing field and increase your level of productivity by becoming more disciplined. So let's dive straight into today's video. Now, what is self-discipline? Self-discipline is the exercise of control over self by self. In reality, it is the regulation of self by self. This is you controlling you. This is you guiding you in the direction that you want to go. This isn't an external force that is pulling you or pushing you in a particular direction. It is you regulating you, regulating your actions, and in some instances, regulating your thoughts. Another example of self-discipline is the capacity to override an unwanted thought, emotion, or impulse. So it's overriding thoughts, impulses, and feelings. If you're unable to override any one of these here, then you become subject to that particular thought, impulse, or feeling, which means that it reduces your chances of controlling yourself, which ultimately means that your level of self-discipline is limited. So this, 2 simple points on what is self-discipline. The regulation of self by self, it is you controlling yourself, as well as the overriding of thoughts, feelings, and impulses. Now let's get into why self-discipline is important and necessary. Hey friend, I want to take this moment to honor your decision to consume content that can improve your life. I know that you can be anywhere, but you chose to be here. And for that, I appreciate you. And if I knew you, I know that you are someone who has dreams and goals that you want to achieve. But life experiences seem to get in the way. Maybe it's childhood trauma or limiting beliefs. If that is the case, I want to extend an invitation to you. Let's have a one-on-one consultation and let's see if neurotransformational coaching is a fit for you. If it isn't, then I honor your journey and I support you. If it is, then send me an email at PurposeDevelopmentAcademy@gmail.com. It would be an honor to be the guide at your side as you pursue your dreams, your goals, and your desires, and live a fulfilling and impactful life. I look forward to meeting you. Now let's get back to today's video. For one, self-discipline helps us to avoid distractions. We know how many times that we sit down to get something done, and that notification on any one of your social media platform comes on. That vibration of your phone, that ding of an email hitting your inbox, and you're immediately taken away from what you are doing, and you're now focusing on that notification. With self-discipline, you would be able to avoid that distraction. You would then come up with a strategy, which may mean turning off your data, putting your device in another room. That is something that I often do whenever I sit to study or to read something. Or it may simply mean blocking out time, a specific time where you are going to focus on what you are going to do, and you are not going to touch that device. So self-discipline helps you to avoid distractions. Number two, it helps you to prevent, and this is a huge one, procrastination. If you're a college student, you know what this means. Recently, I completed my associate degree in psychology, and I can tell you there were many times where I procrastinated. And I am sharing my story because you may think that because I served this length of time in the military, a decade and a half, I should have self-discipline down pack. But that isn't always the case. Many students would wait until the very last moment to get that paper done, to get that project started. With self-discipline, it helps you to avoid the stress that comes with procrastination. Imagine having this project to complete and you are stressed out, you can't sleep because you have left it for the last minute. And then there's that rush, that adrenaline rush, which adds even more stress upon yourself. And I know that I am preaching to the choir here. With self-discipline, it is going to help you avoid this major P word called procrastination. And number three, self-discipline helps you to avoid or to resist temptation. Yes, we are fighting temptation here. I almost forgot how to spell temptation there. Temptation could come in the form of that slice of cake in your refrigerator. It can come as that juicy burger that has been on your mind. Or it may simply mean that cigarette or that alcohol, or even any other temptation that may happen between two individuals. With self-discipline, you improve your chances of resisting temptation. And we all know that temptation is always around us. There's always that temptation to go to that next video. There's always that temptation to eat this sugary product that we know is not good for our health. So, with self-discipline, you increase your chances of avoiding distractions, preventing procrastination, and resisting temptation. But there is also more. This is another reason why you need to develop your self-discipline. Self-discipline increases your chances of personal achievement. When you utilize self-discipline, your chances of achieving whatever you set out to achieve increases significantly, because self-discipline helps you to become focused. Focus on that goal, on that dream, and it would push you in the direction to do whatever it takes to make it happen, which ultimately leads to increased life satisfaction. Because if you achieve the things that you set out to achieve, then your life is going to improve and you are going to find more fulfillment, more satisfaction. You're pretty much going to be walking into your purpose. So self-discipline is a key element to life. It is an element that we need to incorporate into every aspect of our lives. Now, let's dive into the strategies that would help you develop and increase your self-discipline, which ultimately would lead to your success in whatever field or direction you choose. Have you ever heard of delayed gratification? Delayed gratification is a very important step, a very important strategy in developing your self-discipline. What is delayed gratification, you ask? It is the opposite of immediate gratification. Immediate gratification is given to immediate pleasure. Delayed gratification is avoiding immediate pleasure for a long-term benefit. So this may come in the form of avoiding sleeping longer in the comfort of your bed, of your sheets, and getting up and working out, because in the long run, in the long term, it is going to increase your health, which also increases the type of life that you lead, and it gives you more life. Delayed gratification may mean avoiding that succulent slice of chocolate cake and having a bowl of salad, fresh fruits and vegetables, because it's going to increase your health. Delayed gratification is putting off going out and chilling with your friends when you have an assignment to complete. Delayed gratification is showing up and putting in the work, as difficult as it may be, because you have a vision for your family. You have a vision of the person that you want to become. And instead of wasting time doing something like spending hours locked on watching a series on Netflix, you put in that effort. You show up on camera and you record your first video and you put it on YouTube. You may not get all of the views that you desire, but it is that step in achieving that long-term goal. And that is delayed gratification. Setting aside immediate pleasure for a long-term benefit. That's number one. We're getting deeper into it. The next important strategy in developing self-discipline is awareness. Awareness is extremely important because many of the things that we do, we may not be aware that we are doing it. We are doing it on impulse. Take, for example, you go to the supermarket. When you're approaching the cashier, there is a wide array of chocolates and all different types of sweets. And you may just pick up one without thinking, or many without even thinking or being aware that you are going to consume all of this sugar that is going to affect your health. Or what if you just had lunch and you immediately feel for something sweet? And you may consume this piece of chocolate cake. I know you all are probably thinking that I have something against chocolate cake. That is not the case. But you may consume this sugary product without being aware. And that is why self-discipline demands awareness. You need to be aware of the things that are distracting you. How many times have you reached for your cell phone for the day without even realizing that you wasn't aware that a notification came through? You just automatically reach for that cell phone. You just automatically reach to check your emails without even thinking or knowing that someone may have sent something to you. Awareness is critical when it comes to developing self-discipline. Without awareness, you are going to walk or keep walking blindly into actions that would result in distraction, temptation, and procrastination. So become more aware. And number 3, this is my all-time favorite because this one resonates with me because it is a part of my life. That is exercise. Or workout. This is a critical aspect to self-discipline. Being able to develop a workout regime is, for me, the ultimate strategy to develop self-discipline in your life. It was December of Christmas Day of December 2022. I went for a 5K run, and right after I sat and I thought to myself, I am doing this run on Christmas morning when almost everyone either now rolling out of their bed because of the preparation of the night before, or they are preparing their Christmas breakfast. And here I am on this run. And I made a decision in that moment that I was going to work out every day for 1 year. Easier said than done. Because I can tell you, the challenges that came up were numerous. There were many times that I got up late. The sun was out blazing, but yet still I worked out. There were times when it was pouring rain early in the morning, and I just wanted to spend 5 more minutes in the warmth of my covers. But I got up and worked out. There were many times that I had a project due. I had a paper that I had to submit. But before I did it, I went and I worked out. The challenges were there. There were many times I got up feeling not having that feeling to work out. But I can tell you, it is those days that your workout becomes the best. Those days when you really feel out of it, when you work out, something magical happens. And I discovered from my experience that every time I forced myself to work out when I didn't want to, I was training my brain to become comfortable in discomfort. I was training my brain to follow what I decided, to follow that path that I charted. And by developing that discipline of working out every day, I was able to develop that ironclad self-discipline. And I can tell you now, it is 2 years, going on 3 years, that I have worked out every day. And that self-discipline that I've developed in working out has now transferred into other areas of my life. Why? It has transferred because I can see myself, or I place myself in this situation, maybe challenging and difficult situation of working out daily. I tell myself, whenever I come onto something that requires my discipline, I remind myself that I am disciplined in placing my body under strenuous circumstances daily. So if I can do that, if I can take myself out of comfort and intentionally place it in discomfort, then I can certainly work on this new area, become focused, and get it done. So discipline in one area transfers into other areas. It may not always be the case, but it certainly works out. And especially if you develop a workout regime. So that is the third strategy to develop self-discipline. And I know some of you, and I know that you are probably thinking, that is the last thing that I want to hear, working out. But I can tell you this, if you develop a regime of working out, and it does not necessarily have to be every day for the week, but if you develop a regime and you stick to that regime, you are going to see significant results. And those results would be as a result of that level of discipline and focus that you place in your workout regime. And of course, I cannot simply just give you 3. I'm going to give you a bonus. This is another critical step to developing self-discipline. It is what is called implementation intention. Implementation intention is just 2 big words for one simple idea. Plan. It is what is called an if-then plan. If this occurs, then I'm going to do that. If this does not occur, then I'm going to do this. What do I mean by that? Let's say that you want to kick that smoking habit, and most of your friends smoke, and you have all planned a night out. You can plan before you go out with your friends that if they were to offer you a cigarette, then you are going to tell them that you are on your path, you are on a journey to stop smoking. It may be a challenge, but at least you have a plan. Let's say your issue is distractions with your cell phone, with your device. If a notification comes up, then I am only going to respond after I have spent 20 minutes working on this particular project. So it's all about having a plan. Implementation intention is having a plan. So when you are caught into a situation where you face distraction, you face temptation, then you have an approach to address that plan that will now help to prevent you from falling off of that path to becoming self-disciplined. And that is the 3 strategies with a bonus on becoming more disciplined in your life. So just to recap, we'll start from the final go up. Implementation intention is having a plan, an if-then plan. Then my favorite, because it speaks to me based on my experience, that is to have an exercise, a workout regime. This is critical to developing self-discipline. Then we have awareness. Be aware of the things that take you away from your plan, from your goal. Be aware of your distractions, of your temptations, of the things that causes you to procrastinate. And finally, delayed gratification. It is about setting aside immediate pleasure. And that immediate pleasure can be that slice of chocolate cake. It can be that notification on any one of these social media platforms. Or it can be that epic series on Netflix. Setting aside these immediate gratifications, these immediate pleasures for a long-term benefit, which may mean exercising, eating healthy, or showing up and recording that first video that you're about to put out on YouTube, or just getting any project done, starting that business, because you know that you are going to benefit in the long run. And that is this presentation on self-discipline. I hope that it has been useful and that you can use any one of these 4 strategies to develop your level of self-discipline. Because if you do, you're going to increase your productivity and ultimately improve your chances of being successful. If you find this information valuable, you'd want to check out that video on procrastination. And I will see you in the next video.